Ford CEO Jim Farley has said that the Trump administration have saved them. He has said that he's celebrating the rollback of emission standards in the US and that Ford was forced to sell EVs. They never wanted to sell them. He says that they were just selling them because they were forced to. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I can't believe I've just said what I just said because it sounds so ridiculous, but it's true. Ford's CEO has said this stuff, and I don't know if the idea here is to just try to suck up to Donald Trump. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, Jim Farley says that vehicle prices will fall under the new fuel economy standards, giving buyers more choice in gas, hybrid, and EV segments. An interesting claim. Farley, though, has joined his American counterparts in supporting the Trump administration's decision to cancel federal fuel economy standards. To go back to the good old days, he says. The move, says Jim Farley, gives automakers the breathing room to produce more affordable vehicles in the United States without walking away from electric innovation or efficiency goals. But obviously, they have been walking away from electric innovation and efficiency goals by cancelling some of those programs over the past few months. Farley's argument is that regulations were so strict that they effectively squeezed automakers out of the low-cost segments that so many buyers rely on. In other words, he's blaming fuel emissions standards or car emissions standards on Ford raising prices. Speaking at a press conference with President Donald Trump on Thursday, Farley called the update a victory for affordability and common sense, adding that Ford will now be able to offer cheaper versions of its most popular models and launch new price-focused products. Don't know about you, but I feel like Jim Farley is spelling the doom of Ford. We believe that people should be able to make a choice, as you said, Mr. President, said Jim Farley, and we will invest more in affordable vehicles. This allows us to invest in affordable vehicles made in the US, which we will take the lead on and will allow us to make vehicles more affordable. He said the word affordable 3 times in one paragraph. Literally. Yeah. 3 times in one paragraph. Okay. Really, is this emissions rollback going to make any difference to the affordability of Ford's cars? I think absolutely not. I mean, really the biggest difference to Ford's affordability of its cars this year is the Trump administration forcing Ford to source its products from America, because actually a huge percentage of the parts going into Fords came from China. Trump, sitting beside Jim Farley, said people were brainwashed. This is a green news scam. A green news scam, emission standards are. And people were paying too much for a car that didn't work as well. And now they're going to have a great car that's going to be environmentally friendly, but it's going to cost you a lot less and it's going to work great. And all the nonsense is being taken out of the cars. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I'm pretty sick of hearing Donald Trump's voice. He loves the sound of his own voice. Farley stopped short of framing the move as an ideological shift, instead focusing on the economics. He argued that the tightened CAFE standards, or CAFE standards, under the previous administration imposed, they made entry-level vehicles much harder to justify. Is that even true? Emission standards in the US were well below emission standards in Europe, and somehow Europeans were still buying affordable cars. That pressure, though, he said, pushed automakers toward higher margin EVs and hybrids simply to meet fleet targets. Now, I should also mention that emission standards in China are stricter than what they are in the United States, and cars in China are much cheaper than in the United States, much cheaper to produce as well. What you should know is that this is a victory for affordability and common sense, said Jim Farley. He went on, as the president said, we will be able to offer more affordability on our popular models. We'll be able to launch new vehicles built in America that are more affordable because of this rule change. So he used the word affordable 5 times in 2 sentences. Interestingly, he appears to be feeling like Trump has it over him for some reason. Farley said that the earlier fuel economy system was totally out of touch with market reality. Automakers, he said, were forced to sell EVs and other vehicles to stay compliant, even when customer demand wasn't there. Well, it didn't really work for Ford because they didn't really sell that many EVs over the last few years, so I'm not really sure what he's talking about. We were forced to sell EVs and other vehicles. We're not going back to gas guzzlers, though, he continued. We have a lot of EVs and a lot of hybrids at Ford, but now customers get a choice to choose what they want, not by what we force on them. So let me repeat Jim Farley's statement here, guys, because I'm just trying to make sense of it. We were forced to sell EVs and other vehicles. We're not going to go back to gas guzzlers. We have a lot of EVs and a lot of hybrids at Ford, but now customers get a chance to choose what they want, not by what we force on them. Guys, I don't know about you, but I wasn't aware that Ford was forcing anything onto anyone. They're saying they were. So please let me know if you've been a victim to Ford's forcing tactics. Did Ford force you to buy a car that you didn't want to buy? Please send me an email. I'd love to hear about that story. What? Ford's CEO clarified that the company isn't returning to inefficient gas models, noting it already sells a wide range of EVs and hybrids. Doesn't really have a wide range of EVs, if you ask me. GM CEO Mary Barra recently made similar comments. This reset rolls back the increases in emission standards introduced under the Biden administration, which raised fuel economy requirements by 8% for 2024 and 2025 and 10% for 2026. Federal officials previously estimated those rules would add around $1,000 to the average new car price. I'm not sure how they came up with those numbers, but anyway, that's what they said. By contrast, the new standard lowers compliance costs and, according to the White House, will save American families a combined $109 billion. Now the market waits to see if automakers really do deliver on these promises of rolling out more affordable models, or if this was a whole bunch of political blustering. What do you guys think?